In this video, we're going to talk about Plato's allegory of the cave and how it pretty much describes you and I and the certain audience of this channel and other like-minded channels, okay, as you will see. So, Plato's allegory of the cave. So it's a good thing that I have a wall behind me here because I can maybe demonstrate to you. So basically the allegory goes something like this. There are prisoners, right, locked up in a cave, okay? They've just been locked up, they're born in a cave. That's where they started off, in a cave, that's all they know. Now, say I'm one of the prisoners here and you know, they're chained. Right, I'm one of the prisoners, and my back is basically that side, and I'm looking at the wall. So imagine I was born, and all I know is the wall in front of me. Okay, that's all I know. That's all I ever know. To me, that is where reality is. Reality is a wall, right? And behind me, there is a fire. Okay, behind the prisoners, behind the people locked up in the cave, there is a fire. And there are people walking past and they create different shadows, okay? So they create different shadows. So if somebody is walking and they maybe create a certain, say a woman is walking with long hair, she'll create a certain shadow on the wall, right? Say a man is walking, he'll create a certain shadow on the wall. And as they're walking, they're creating all these different shadows from the fire, from the things happening there, the sounds, the people walking, holding different objects, etc. The people, the prisoners who are locked up, who are basically locked up, and all they know is the wall, they're seeing different shadows here. Okay? So, we have these prisoners, they're seeing different shadows, and they think that these shadows are reality. Okay? Because that's all they know. That's all they know. They don't know anything else. They don't know that these are the shadows of real objects, real people passing by with real objects. They don't know that. Because as far as they're concerned, that's what reality is. All of reality is just shadows. And they make up stories and they talk about it and they have like drama. You know, like if something appears to look like a duck or something appears to look like, you know, a paper or something, whatever, right? Then they talk about it and they have storylines. Oh, did you see that duck today? Did you see that bird today? Did you see that thing today? Right? Because that's all they know. And they're talking about it, about these shadows as if they're real. They think these shadows are real things. Okay? They have no idea that they're shadows on the wall off of real objects, real people passing by. And it's just a shadow reflected off the fire. Okay, so one day, one of the prisoners in the cave, one of the people locked up, decides to leave. Okay, just decides to leave, has this urge to break free of his chains and leave. Okay, he just has that, the innate, he's still, I mean, he's there, he's like the rest of the people. He thinks that the shadows are real, but this inner calling in him says, I'm gonna unchain myself here and I'm going to leave this place. He still doesn't really know there's anything outside. Okay? And he breaks through. He breaks his chains. He manages to unchain himself and manages to escape the cave. Goes out of the cave and is, first of all, greeted with light, sunlight. And first he can't even see because he does not even know that there is such thing as light. It literally almost made him blind, you know, but it did make him blind. It almost did, but it didn't. And eventually once his eyes began to adjust to the light and he started to see around and wow, this place is beautiful. Oh my God, these trees are amazing. There's sunlight and he sat underneath the sun and he sunbathed and he sat under a tree and he walked around and he was in pure ecstasy and pure bliss. right? There is something, and he had this inner calling in him, this inner feeling that this isn't real. These shadows on the wall are not real objects. They are not their true reality, but they are rather images on the wall. They're illusions. And he had this feeling inside of him, and that's what he broke free of the prison. You guys starting to see how this applies to the people, the audience of this channel, and the people that are on this sort of journey and path? He broke free. He had the inner calling, and he went outside, and boom, sunlight, beautiful trees, beautiful skies, beautiful clouds, beautiful birds. Wow, such ecstasy, such joy that he decided, I'm going to tell everyone in the cave about what I saw outside. I'm going to tell everyone about the beauty of reality, the beauty of everything. And he ran back to the cave in his excitement, in his pure ecstasy and joy and bliss. And he told everyone, hey, these shadows on the wall are not real. They're not real. They're not real. All these storylines and all this drama and all this symbolic and linguistic value that you guys have placed on these shadows, you gave them names, you gave them storylines, you called this shadow bird, you called this shadow tree, you called this shadow paper. You know, I don't even know if they had paper at the time, but you know, whatever. Sticks, let's say sticks, you give them names, you give them linguistic value, you give them storylines. They're not real. They're just images. They're not real. You guys gotta come check this out. Here, do you want me to help you unchain? And then they're like, no, like, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. No, you're telling me this isn't real. You're telling us these shadows are not real. You're telling us these shadows on the wall. Who do you think you are? Who the hell do you think you are? Telling us this isn't real, telling us that this is all an illusion. He says, look, trust me, fam, trust me, fam, come on, it's beautiful outside, come on. But they did not answer his fam calls. They just kept calling him out, saying bullshit. You know, again, that's, you can think of it as an analogy to the skeptical, rational, logical mind. They said bullshit. We call bullshit. You're crazy. You're out of your mind. You're full of shit. No, this is real. We're okay being here. And not only that, but the prisoners in the cave go on a step further and plot to kill the bearer of truth. Okay? They plot to kill him. And so you can probably already see what Plato was trying to convey in his allegory. And I have to say, Plato was a very conscious being. You know, he was a very, very conscious being. Okay, if you read his works, if you study his works, and you study his ideas, and you study his philosophies, he was in tune with the universal Tao. He was in tune with the one consciousness. He basically, in other words, preached unity consciousness. He really was a very conscious being. So Plato was a student of Socrates, and many people have interpreted the allegory of the cave to represent the story of Socrates, because Socrates was poisoned. He was imprisoned, and then he was given poison because he was the bearer of the truth. He used to go around in Athens and question people, and people would get really upset about it. They would get really upset about it because he'd bring these heavy truths on them, and then they couldn't handle it. You know, you got to remember, when the prisoner who escaped, when he went outside, he almost got blinded by the light, but he eventually managed to, his eyes adjusted, and he managed to be one with the light. See, too much light can blind you if all you've known is a cave and darkness, and all you've ever known is illusions, shadows. Okay? So some people interpret it as the story of Socrates, because he was corrupting the mind of the youth. That was one of his the accusations right? He was imprisoned, went through trial, and then he was poisoned. He was poisoned. They gave him, well, he wasn't, they gave him poison. He drank the poison. And some say that Socrates, people felt bad and they weren't going to give him the poison, but Socrates took the poison. He basically said, all right, time for me to take the poison. Let's take the poison. Because Socrates didn't give a shit about death. To him, the aim of philosophy is to prepare for death. So there were some very conscious beings in that era in Greece. In ancient Greece, Socrates, Plato being two of them. So that could be interpreted as that. To take it even further, and I think Plato explains that a little bit, this is the story of the philosopher, the awakened one in her community. Okay? We talk about the Matrix, Neo. As far as I'm concerned, everybody watching this video is a Neo. Is the one, is the chosen one, quote unquote. Okay? Every little community, every little neighborhood, every little town, every little city, every little thing, okay, they need a Neo there. So there is many Neos, not just one Neo. Okay? The Christ within you, the Buddha within you. And so you've sort of started to wake up. You've realized this isn't real. It's an illusion. The shadows on the wall, that's an illusion. This isn't real. This is Maya. This isn't real. This is not real. This is temporary. It's illusionary. It fades away. This is all just a dream. This is the dream state, and you start to realize that, and that's the beginning of the waking up. This is the beginning of waking up, right? And then you break free. You know, you get this urge, and then, you know, Neo in the Matrix, you know, Morpheus comes to him, follow the rabbit, follow the white rabbit, and he follows the white rabbit. He leaves the cave, and at the beginning he was shocked. That's the light blinding you, but then eventually you adjust and you realize that this is your path. You've woken up from the dream, and now you've got to go on about spreading this stuff. You really, once you wake up, one of the qualities of waking up is you can't not spread the light, if you will. You just gotta do it. There's an inner calling in you to do it. Okay, so yeah, so that's basically, I would say that's the story of everybody watching this. This is the story of the philosopher. This is the story of the philosopher who delves into the mind, delves into altered states of consciousness, and comes back and is faced with the truth, the clear white light, the clear white light. I love how it's the light. Again, the light. Everybody talks, every philosophy, every religion talks about the light. God is light, the clear white light. And then the quality is the philosopher goes to the light, sees the light, the truth. Consciousness equals love, equals beauty, equals truth, equals wisdom, equals light. Okay, and then you come back, you tell it to the other folks that are in prison. Okay, your fellow ex-cons. Okay, and then they don't believe you because it is too much of a shock to their belief system, which is aka also known as the ego, their ego. Okay, that's not what they're convinced that this is reality, these are the shadows, and they're not gonna have it any other way. They aren't gonna have it any other way, right? So it is true, you can't change anyone, and this is sort of what the allegory of the cave also is telling us. That don't try to change anybody. Spread the light, but don't expect people to hop in on the ship with you. Don't expect that to happen. And in fact, be prepared to face the fate of Socrates, as many great sages and teachers and people who preach the one consciousness, the unity consciousness, have suffered over and 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 over in history. Okay, I don't have to name any names. They're endless. Endless. The most famous one being Jesus Christ. Okay, so the idea is you still spread the light anyway, but if you want to be happy and not suffer, suffering is a mental thing, don't expect anybody to hop in on the ship. If you have the innate urge in you to spread the light, you spread the light. But just, again, do not have any expectations and be prepared for facing the fate of Socrates, which is to drink the poison. Okay? Luckily, we live in a world now where it's becoming increasingly more difficult to hide the truth, to hide the light. And yeah, that's a pretty good thing, right? That's a pretty good thing. I think now, you know, if we were to look at existence and everything in it as a play, as a lila, as a life, as a storyline, it seems that we're now at the part of the storyline where the light begins to again overwhelm the darkness. Because as far as I understand, we're just coming out of Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is the dark ages in Hindu time period. And as far as I understand, we're just coming out of the Kali Yuga. Some say we're still in the heart of the Kali Yuga and things are about to get much worse. But you know, we'll see. We'll see. You know, it definitely... The Kali Yuga has definitely been the case of humanity for the last few thousand years. This is why over and over anybody who tried to bring the light was persecuted, because we're in a Kali Yuga. Now in the Sat Yuga, this is the most enlightened time. Luckily, Kali Yuga is the shortest Yuga. Sat Yuga is the time of enlightenment, and luckily that's the longest one. So if hopefully we're now coming out of the Kali Yuga, then we're going to be heading towards the better time period. Sat Yuga is much later. Sat Yuga is when everybody is enlightened. But there's 4 time periods basically, right? Kali Yuga, Dvarpa Yuga, Treta Yuga, and then the highest one is Sat Yuga. So we have to go through everything to get back to the Sat Yuga. But yeah, I think the allegory of the cave is something you guys can all relate to here, right? It's something you can all relate to. So what I would say, the meat and the butter of this, the moral of the story, the flesh of the story, the flesh, right? The flesh of the fruit, the fruits of the allegory is, once you begin to wake up, keep going all the way. Keep going all the way. Okay? Keep going all the way. Even if the light almost blinds you, keep going. Keep going. It's just you've been too long in darkness, too long in the cave, too long accustomed to illusions and shadows on the walls. Keep going. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay? And once you realize the truth of the matter, the truth of existence, the truth of reality, the oneness, the isness, the Tao, once Tao is obtained, answer the natural, spontaneous call in you to spread the light, like Jesus did, like Buddha did, like Lao Tzu did, like many people walking on the earth right now are doing. Because once you're with the light, you can't shut up about the light, okay? You want everybody to know. But expect skepticism, expect mockery, expect rejection. Okay, and even I would go as far as be prepared to be persecuted, like many people in the course of recent human history in this dark age of Kali Yuga. And be prepared for that. And I would say even further, let people be. Let them be. Just let everybody be. Let them be. I would say, you know, don't even try to spread the light. Like, be the light. How's that? Don't even try to spread the light. Be the light. Because we're seeing that spreading the light always ends in disaster, it seems. Be the light. How's that? Just be you. Work on you. You know, there's a saying, I was clever yesterday and I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise and I only want to change myself. Right? I mean, what else are you going to do but change yourself? What else are you going to do but cultivate the light within you and be the light? I would say that's even better. Okay? I stopped trying to spread the light. I used to be one of those happy-go-lucky, butterflying, spreading the positive energy and all. If it happens through me and I'm talking to a cashier and it's just a positive, there's a positive, which happens a lot, by the way. Okay, which happens a lot. if it happens that there's a positive exchange or I have something positive to say, let it be. But if there's nothing to say, there's nothing to say. Okay, I've stopped trying to spread the light. I've stopped trying to be positive. Paradoxically, you're a little bit more positive that way. It's very much a paradox, right? But I've kind of stopped it because I've sort of almost saw that no one's going to listen anyway. Everybody's going to do what they want to do anyway. And I know myself. I do what I want to do anyway at the end of the day. So I know that that's how all humans are. That you're going to do what you're going to do anyway. And there's no point in preaching anything, really. There's just be it. Be it. Be it. Okay? Be it. So, hope you guys enjoyed this one. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the beautiful, amazing, wonderful, lovely, generous, awesome people on Patreons, the Patreon family, one love. Love you guys. Mwah. I appreciate your support. I appreciate everything you guys do. And if you would like to become part of the family, part of the Patreon family, show your support for this growing community. I call it a community because it's a community. What else is this but a community? I mean, when you contribute, you're not just contributing to Saeed. Saeed is just a community. Transmitter. Saeed is a transmitter. I'm a transmitter. That's what I'm a transmitter. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay? Just a transmitter. And I'd like to transmit this full time. I'd like to transmit all of this full time because I don't do it full time at the moment. Okay? So if we get enough support on Patreon, then I could have all the time in the world to do this full time, take all these quests and everything that we talk about here even further, you know, as I continue to go down these rabbit holes, these different rabbit holes, I continue to share with you guys. So if you'd like to support us with as little as $2 a month, I'd appreciate it. Mwah. God bless you guys. And until next time, may the force be with you.